energy drinks. We had a water faucet with a hose on the end of it that we had to wait until the water ran out and cooled off to drink out of it. We thought it was wonderful. We'd sit under that tree and cool off and go back out on the court. It was pretty neat to get to do that. I also wanted to congratulate, like some of you have already done, all the inductees for the class of 2012. It's really an honor for me to be in such a distinguished class and be around all these great athletes here today. I wanted to share just a few things with you. First of all, I don't know where they found that picture. All these good looking with short hair. I have to tell you a story. I can't pass up the opportunity, but obviously this picture was taken at a time where many of us wore long hair, and most of the team did. Robert, Ray, all of us wore long hair, but Fred was adamant about developing character and developing an image with his team, and he had a long way to go with our group, I can tell you that right now. But so one day we had a team meeting, and he offered to pay for our haircut. He'd tell us to go get a haircut, we'd go get a haircut, and we'd come back, and he'd say, no, that's not enough. We'd have to go pay for another haircut. And finally, he said, I'll pay for it, but I'm going to tell him how to cut it. So obviously this picture was taken before Fred paid for the haircut, because it didn't look like that after that was over with. I want to just share a few things with you all. For some reason, dates have always stuck in my mind, things that have happened on certain days that I'll never forget, and for some reason those dates have stuck with me. And so I'd like to share a few of them with you. February 15th, 1971, a high school coach who was new to Big Spring High School out in West Texas went to the PE coaches. I had played basketball, I played baseball, I pitched in a baseball team, I ran track, but because of some family injuries and problems, I'd quit, and so I was in PE in high school, second semester. And the tennis coach went to the PE coaches and said, hey, if you've got somebody that can walk and chew gum at the same time, maybe they'd like to go out for tennis. And so the PE coach came to our group and told us about it, and I didn't think much about it at the time. But then one day he caught me after one of our sporting events. I think we were playing basketball or something. And he asked me directly if I was interested in like Vern mentioned earlier, the freshman cheerleaders just a couple weeks earlier had gone out for tennis. And he asked me directly, and I thought, well, that seemed like a pretty good idea at the time. So I did. I went on Valentine's Day and went to the counselor, changed my schedule, and went out for tennis on February 15th, 1971. Fortunately, I fell in love with tennis, and not a cheerleader at the time. And 6 months later, they were gone, and I was still playing. I worked real hard. I fell in love with it. I played till late at night. My high school coach, Novice Niffen, Fred's brother, became like a second father to me. I almost spent more time with him than I did with my own dad. And began to develop some skills, started winning some tournaments, and started to really set some goals in tennis. My senior year, in the spring of my senior year, my father had several heart attacks, had gotten pretty sick and went into the hospital, and on February 27th, 1974, I stood at the foot of the bed and watched my father pass away. And it was difficult at the time, but like I said, I'd set a lot of goals in tennis, and I had something to carry me forward. And so Novice suggested to me that I consider coming to Tyler Junior College. And I'd had some offers to go to Tech and a couple of other universities on partial scholarships, but we didn't have any money, and I knew Fred was a great coach, and I had the opportunity to come to see TJC, and I think the Apache Bells were drilling out on that football field out on the side over there, and so needless to say, I came here, but I really came because I wanted a good coach. I wanted to reach some high goals in the sport of tennis, and I didn't realize at the time, I knew he was a great coach, but I didn't realize what a great man Fred ended up a being, and what a great school this ended up being, a good influence on my life. We finished school here at Tyler, oh, wait a minute, let me back up just a second. So I decided to move down here it was around June 8th, 1974, just a few months later. I loaded up in Big Spring and came to Tyler. And Fred offered a scholarship and a summer job so we could run these tennis camps. And let me tell you everything the university was, those summer camps there's some stories that you just can't believe, can't share here with you now, but it was a great time in my life, spending with people and coaching kids and learning how to deal with other people. But a lot of the counselors got together, came in on Sunday morning, and on that day, I met a number of people, one person in particular that became a lifelong friend, Robert Cox. We've spent a lot of time traveling together. We've done a lot of good things. We've done some motorcycle trips. But I applaud his success in the tennis industry as coach here at Tyler and then coach at Arkansas. So we finished school here at Tyler and all moved on, and I ended up going to Houston for a couple of years. I was in Fort Worth at a country club, at Shady Oaks Country Club, for 14 years, and then back to Houston. Was in Lubbock for 10 years. And then now I'm back in the Houston area again. And in my travels, I had the opportunity to meet the lady that's the love of my life. And on August 4th, 2000, I married my best friend, the perfect wife, Jenda. Would you stand? Like Wayne said, she's my best friend. She's a nurse, cheerleader. She is my cheerleader. Great friend, great cook, and my life partner. So we keep moving forward. A couple of other dates I want to share with you on. It was a beautiful Friday afternoon, and I went out to play some tennis on December the 12th, 2008. And had a very competitive match, which I won, by the way. All you athletes understand that's important, right? So I went in and I had a couple of cramps, one in my leg and one unusual, one back in one of the lat muscles on my side. And I walked into my office and I sat down at my desk, and all of a sudden I started having a cramp that felt like the size of a football right in the center of my chest. And I thought, like most cramps, that would go away. Well, needless to say, it didn't. I had 100% blockage in the right coronary artery, was having a massive heart attack. And luckily for me, as you can tell, the story ends good. I was about 4 miles from a medical center that had a new cath lab in it, and within an hour and a half, they put a stent in, and I watched the monitors as they put the dye in and cleaned it out and opened the heart up, and the pressure went away, and they saved my life that day. But the one thing that sticks with me about that story is that, you can't waste a day. Every day is precious, and it really makes me appreciate that more now than ever. They say that life is not how many breaths you take, but how many moments that take your breath away. And you don't want to waste any of them. Life basically boils down to the choices you make and the people in your life that you meet. The choices that you make during the good times when things are good, and also the bad things that happen to you and how you deal with them. And so if there's one message that I could leave you with today, please take note to spend time with friends, and particularly your family, because that's really what it all boils down to. Again, I'd like to thank all of you. It says here, TJC, changing people's lives. As you can tell, not only has it changed my life, but you can appreciate the fact that I'm really glad to be here with you. And finally, March 3rd, 2012, it's a day I'll never forget. Thank you all.